It's time for A Girl's Perspective, the podcast where girls speak up. Our organization, Know Better to Do Better, is the movement that empowers girls with personal, social, and leadership skills, equipping us for a brighter future. Girls, get ready to speak up because here's our host, the founder of Know Better to Do Better, Paula Bond.
Welcome. So happy to have you all here today. It's a really special show to me personally, and I hope you'll just come along for the ride. I'll tell you what I mean. I'm Paula Bond, founder of Know Better to Do Better and host here of A Girl's Perspective. And this is the show where usually girls speak up. But today, I've got a different guest here. Let me tell you about my guest. Let me tell you this first. If you go looking for us, you're going to find us at Know Better to Do Better on Facebook. And, of course, on Instagram, we are at We Know We Do. Today's topic, as I mentioned, something very special to me, and it's called Daddy's Little Girl. This is the show about the role that fathers play, that dads play in their daughters' lives. And it's not called a husband. It's not called a boyfriend. This is called Daddy's Little Girl, right? So we'll get into that just a little bit more. Let me tell you about my guest here. This gentleman I have known for a while. His name is Kevin Suber, and he is married with 4 children, so I think that does qualify him to be our guest here today. He is an entrepreneur, author, speaker, and a life coach with business in the entertainment world, as well as health and wellness and anti-aging industries. Good, we need to talk about anti-aging. As a coach, Kevin has worked with executives and groups in the areas of personal, professional, and spiritual growth, as well as leadership training. Kevin has been invited to speak for organizations such as Shaw University, the NAACP, and International Youth Fellowship. His book, Kingdom Business, Licensed to Lead, is an Amazon bestseller and is available on Amazon, Audible, and iTunes. Kevin was named Father of the Year by Fathers and Families Coalition of America. We're going to hear from him right after this. Hi, it's Paula Bond, founder of Know Better to Do Better and author of the book, Social Media, Say Hello to Social Skills. Parents, do you ever struggle with what's appropriate and safe for your daughter when it comes to social media and the internet? Well, Mom and Dad, we got your back. Social Media, Say Hello to Social Skills is the book every parent should read and share with your tween-aged daughter prior to giving her a device connected to the internet and without parental controls. Parents, it's time you and your 11 to 14-year-old daughter mastered social media through a healthy dose of social skills. Her bright future may depend on it. Order your book today at our website, knowbettertodobetter.org. That's know with a K, knowbettertodobetter.org. Social media, say hello to social skills. And hi there. Thank you so much for being here today. You won't want to miss this. It's only a 15-minute podcast, so stay with us and listen to this. So, it's a pretty important subject here today. It's called Daddy's Little Girl, and it is the role that fathers play in their daughters' lives. I've invited a great friend, getting to know him and know his family, Kevin Suber. And as I mentioned on the introduction, you're a father of 4. Tell me, how does that break down? You have 4 girls, you have 4 boys. Talk to me about the breakdown here.
So I've got 2 boys, 2 girls, and it goes from oldest to youngest, girl, boy, girl, boy.
Oh, you planned it well.
Yeah, I'd love to say that.
Yeah.
I prayed about it. Lord, give me 4 kids. I'd love 2 boys and 2 girls, and that's what happened. So, yeah, grateful for that.
Kevin, I brought you here today because I was raised in a household where my mom did a great job with her daughters, 3 girls she raised. And my dad was in and out, but he was mostly out. So I'm one of those girls that it took me a while, trust me, I was still in my 20s, even my 30s, where I was still filling that daddy-sized hole that I had in my heart. So what is the role that dads play in a girl's life?
Wow. Great question. For me, it starts with identity. I just had this conversation with a friend yesterday, and I was talking about from when my kids were little. My oldest now is in boarding school, so it's a little bit different. I can't do what I used to do. But when I would wake them in the morning, I would whisper in their ear, okay, this is, Naomi, you're a queen, you're pleasant, you're intelligent, So what we named them, I would then insert identity in them before the day started, because guess what? The world's going to try and extract that identity. So I've got to give it to them first thing in the morning. So identity, stability. Another conversation I had with a friend yesterday was I was super, super close to my mom. But when my father passed, that was when I felt like everything was just simply unbalanced. And I realized that my relationship with my father was reflective, on a spiritual level, my relationship with the Father. So it just seemed unstable, because my dad was always there for me. No matter what was going on, he was always there. So a father's role is to bring stability. A father's role is to bring identity. Those are the two, for me, those are the two main things that I would say every father, every dad has to, should, must insert in their children.
So tell me the difference then in a dad and his son and a dad and his daughter. You can testify to both needs that are different, but again, what you're pouring into your daughter and what you're pouring into your son, what does it add to your daughter's life to have a dad right there with her?
There's a balance, and it's interesting. Friend of mine who we do some things in marketing, and he says, if you want to be an NBA player, you've got to hang around NBA players. You don't hang around a Major League Baseball player if you're trying to be an NBA player. And so for my sons, I don't just use what Kevin Suber thinks he knows. I also look to other men. I look to books and say, okay, all of these things together make a great dad. And I try my best to insert that information in my sons and try to model that information. For my daughters, it is, again, going back to what I started with, and then to add to that, balance. We all need a sense of balance. So I want to give my daughters balance because they have the female energy from their mother, and what all of that could mean. That's a whole 15-hour conversation for another time. But the pieces that I simply cannot do because I don't understand, because I'm not a female from Oakland. I'm a male from New Haven, Connecticut. So there's some things that she can give that I can't give, and there are things that I can give my daughters from a male perspective, including modeling who she should consider partnering with.
How about that? How about that?
Yeah.
Someone that she can begin to think about for her future. And also, too, I think about emotional stability.
Yes.
What does a dad's role have to do with emotional stability for his daughter?
Again, kind of going back to the statement I made about my father. I was super, super close to my mother, but it was when my father died, that was when things became unsettled for me. And so, not to make those sweeping types of statements, I try not to do that, but my degree's in engineering, so I notice patterns. I notice numbers. So those are the things that I do. And just statistically, men tend to be more focused. Sometimes we don't pay as much attention to the emotional as we should. But the good side of that, the upside of that, is giving that, hey, the world's falling down, but we still got to accomplish this task. Right? These things are happening. Yes, acknowledge it, right? Deal with it. But don't focus on that, because we still have to get to this finish line.
So then what about those girls then who are raised without dads? What about those girls who aren't receiving a consistent man in their lives?
It's a challenge. I think that, and that goes both sides of the coin, but we're talking about the girls right now.
Yes.
I have several female friends that are closer to me that have been raised in a single parent household. The ones that seem to do better, at least acknowledging, all the things that males do, good, bad, and indifferent, are the ones that had strong father figures around. So maybe for whatever reason, mom and dad did not work out.
Yes.
But there were, maybe the mom had a really good friend.
Yes.
Maybe the mom had, like I know one situation where the mom was dating, but did not want to bring the man around until she was sure that man was going to be
how
there.
important is that? How important is that? Because there are a lot of single moms. I was raised by a single mom again.
Yeah.
I think my mom did a great job.
Yeah.
And woohoo, Dorothy Bond,
your mom,
yay.
I'm here to say, your mom did a great job.
Yeah, she did. She raised 3 of us, and she really did a great job.
Yeah.
So what then, we're not offering necessarily advice, but I'm just hearing, you're my expert today, so I'm just hearing from you regarding what are some of the best things, some of the best practices then that single moms can do in terms of their dating life and, around their daughters and around their sons as well.
Right. I mean, again, just one man's opinion.
Sure.
But, there are some things. One of the things I've noticed with my children, stability is everything for them. Consistency is everything for them. That love factor is everything for them. So they need to know that no matter what happens, above all, they are loved. That, you can do all sorts of things in life, and you know what? You will. But you're loved beyond any shortcoming that either I would express to you as a shortcoming or that you would think is a shortcoming.
And that's exactly it with my mom. And anyone that knows her now will say, wow, what a wonderful person. She was so loving.
Yeah.
We felt that even though Dad wasn't there and had a million questions about, just everything.
Right.
The love that my mom showered on us gave us a great deal of confidence.
Absolutely.
It really did. So you said identity. Number 1, stability. Number 2, and love.
And love.
Wow.
You can do a whole lot with those 3.
You absolutely can.
You can do a whole lot with those 3. Let me say it one more time for the people in the cheap seats. You can do a whole lot with those 3.
Yes.
You really can. You're
an author as well.
I've written a book.
Tell me about your book.
So it's a leadership book. It's called Kingdom Business, License to Lead. And it's written, I pulled some biblical things, but I've just pulled things that work in general. The mindset is that everybody is a leader. The challenge is we don't embrace our leadership. I had a conversation with a friend recently because he was telling me some things that he wanted to see in a particular environment. And I said, okay, well, maybe then that's your time to lead in that area.
Exactly.
Because you see it. You may be the only one that sees it.
Yes.
And to take that piece a step further is, there may be one person that's called to touch one person, but that one person is called to touch 5,000, 10,000, 100,000. To go spiritual for a second, somebody had to have a conversation with T.D. Jakes or Billy Graham about their salvation.
Yes.
That was just one person who talked to them.
Yes.
But how many people do they reach?
How do you cultivate then leadership in your daughters? Any differently than you cultivated in your sons as we wrap up here?
For them, no different, because leadership, the process of leadership is understanding that, number 1, you are a leader. And then number 2, understanding that you're here for a reason. As long as there's breath in your body. If you wake up, okay, then you have purpose. If you're not awake, then you've accomplished a mission. Right? So if you wake up, then there's something that you're supposed to do. The mission is not complete. And so that's step 1, understanding you're here, you have purpose, and then we take it from there. And I've got there's questions at the end of each chapter to kind of make you reflect on what you read and then where you are going ultimately.
Give me the name of your book again and your website. Where can people find the book? Let us know.
Okay, so the book is Kingdom Business, License to Lead. My name is Kevin Suber, in case you missed it on the front end. The book's available on Amazon. It's available for audio. I have a mentor that said, Kev, people like your words, but they love your voice. So you need to do the audiobook.
Did you do it?
I did that
Awesome.
Right afterwards. So it's on Audible, it's on iTunes, it's on Amazon as well.
Kevin, my audience is 11 to 14-year-old girls.
Yeah.
Is this a book that they can read? Should their parents share that with them? Tell me how to give some empowerment to my girls. That's what we're all about here.
Perfect. Absolutely. I'll give you 2 quick pieces.
Thank you.
So the first is my son.
And quick being the operative word.
And quick being the operative word. So my son had to do a book report. He did a
Yes.
book report on my book.
Oh.
Okay, so he said, Dad, I want to read your book. He did a book report on my book and took away so much information. He had a conversation with his youth pastor who now wants to use the book to teach kids leadership.
That's what I wanted to know, if indeed they can use it. Give me the name of it
Absolutely.
again and your website one more time.
Kingdom Business, License to Lead, no website for the book. Find me on social media, Instagram and what's the other one? Instagram and
Are you Twitter? Are you
Instagram and Twitter
Facebook?
is @KevSube, KevSube. Facebook is all Kevin J. Suber.
Yes.
LinkedIn, Kevin J. Suber.
You know, we learn so much from our moms, but the things that girls learn from their dads are truly, truly invaluable. I think they do have a lot to do with that emotional stability, and that's why we are here at A Girl's Perspective, to hear from dads. Thank you so much, Kevin Suber. And now, I want to hear from you. Talk to me, girls. Let me know, what it is like. What is your path like? Are you with a dad? Or are you without a dad? Do you have a great uncle in your life? Do you have someone of the male persuasion that is really offering confidence in your life? Is that something that you're looking for? We can have that conversation. We are on Instagram. We are there on at Know Better to Do Better on Facebook. And I know that's where your parents are. I know you guys are not there, but your parents are there. Listen, everyone, keep praying because the Lord is listening. Thank you so much, Kevin. We'll see you next time on A Girl's Perspective.
Pleasure.